Good evening, and I welcome you to your transformative program, Politics and Beyond. I'm your host, Emmanuel Wilson Jr. This evening, we are going to have another interesting episode, as we've always done. And the unique thing about this episode is that we'll also be engaging a large part of this episode outside the studios of TV XYZ. It means that we'll be joining all of us, including my team members, to go to the field to have a conversation. You know, we've always talked about Ghana being an industrial or an agricultural country. Unfortunately, over the past years, it is clear that in terms of agric, we seem not to be doing well as we ought to. And it is worrying. It is worrying because if agric is the backbone of Ghana's economy, what it means is that the very moment we mess it up, it affects not just the agricultural sector, but it also affects every sector. And I'm going to let you appreciate that. I will concentrate, for you to know what we are really dealing with, I'll just concentrate on two commodities, just two commodities. And the first one has to do with maize, or what others refer to as corn. Are we aware that in the year 2023, Ghana imported so much into this country, the product known as maize, for the consumption by you and I? And alarmingly, the statistics tells us that from Argentina alone, Ghana spent an amount of $7.8 million to import maize into Ghana. $7.8 million. You can do the computation. Just use a flat figure of 15 cedis being equivalent to $1. And then you can imagine the quantum, the amount of money that was spent. Now, not only that, the same year, 2023, Ghana spent an amount of $2.57 million importing maize from South Africa. Within the same year, $2.57 million importing maize. From Brazil, we spent $1.16 million. USA, we spent $915,000 US. India, we spent $515,000 US. Thailand, we spent $258,000 US. Zimbabwe, we spent $59,000 US importing corn into this country. Cote d'Ivoire, our neighboring country, Ghana spent $35,000 US importing corn into the country. Uruguay, we spent $21,000 US importing corn into this country. Now, what is so interesting has to do with our the second neighboring country, and I'm making reference to Togo. Togo. Ghana imported maize from Togo, and we spent an amount of $12.6 thousand US. And all these things took place within the year. It took place within last year. This is the amount of money we spent in importing maize only into this country. And that's the first commodity I want you to, ponder over. The second one, and that I won't go into so much details, has to do with tomatoes. Tomatoes, sad to say, a country, another neighboring country, which we all know to be a desert country, and I'm making reference to Burkina Faso. Ghana spent an amount of $400 million US. $400 million US importing tomatoes into Ghana. And if you want to make reference to the source where we got all this data from, we are making reference from the Ghana Vegetable Producers and Exporters Association. Go to their website and you'll see it's over there. This is the amount of money we spent in importing just two commodities, making reference to maize and then also making reference to tomatoes. You see, you may think that it is just for fun, but the effect of it transcends, goes beyond just the agric sector. It transcends. First off, it is going to bring about, and that is what we are realizing or we are seeing, unemployment rate has gone up. Because the very moment we decide to do importation, what it means is that we're giving employment to that country that is importing or exporting to us. We are rather helping their economy to get individuals there employed. And we, have an effect, a negative effect, by ensuring or creating an environment where unemployment rate increases. And the hardest hit has to do with the youth. The other effect has to do with the depreciation of our currency. Because you see, the amounts that I mentioned, if you remember very well, you realize that I was mentioning them not in Ghana cedis, but in US dollars. What it means is that we needed to change our currency and go and get the foreign currency to be able to do this importation. And these are some of the elements that affect the depreciation of our cedi. No wonder our cedi to the dollar, as it stands now, is over 15 cedis to $1. And this is some of the effect. Overall effect is that it's going to have a negative effect also on our GDP. And Ghana's GDP, whether we like it or not, is seriously affected. And this has to do with some of the reasons why our GDP is being affected. But in all of this, there's always a way forward. And this way forward started way back, not now. All of us have heard of a policy that was introduced in the year 1972 by the then leader, Ignatius Kutu Echampon. And I'm making reference to Operation Feed Yourself. Some have or did experience it. I'm sure some of you also read about it. You've heard about it. And Operation Feed Yourself, among other things, was to ensure that it will make Ghana self-reliance when it comes to feeding, when it comes to agric. The other thing was that it was also supposed to ensure that employment, environment is created for individuals to be employed so that unemployment rates will be reduced, employment rates will increase, our cedi will be strengthened, or our currency will be strengthened. That was the intention. Unfortunately, it only lasted till 78. And I'm making reference to the end of the regime of Kutu Echampon. When he left office, it ended. We couldn't continue. We couldn't do much about it. But if you look deeply into that, you realize that the concept was so brilliant that if we had continued with it, if we had improved upon it, Ghana's story, whether the agric sector, whether the all the other economic sectors that we can make reference to, I am very confident that if we had continued with that policy till now and had polished it, improved upon it, by now Ghana's story would have been totally different. During that era, what they did was that they decided to zone Ghana into, crop, sectors. So they take Eastern region and they say that, okay, Eastern region, the concentration will be on cassava, maize, plantain, sugarcane, tea, avocado, citrus, and yam. They concentrate on central region and says that central region is going to be maize, yam, cassava, plantain, rice, pineapple, and sugarcane. And it goes on and on. Western region, plantain, palm oil, banana, rice, and coconut. Ashanti region, plantain, maize, soya bean, and yam. Bono Ahafo, tomatoes, plantain, maize, yam, and the rest. Even in Greater Accra, we had maize, cassava, vegetables, rice, watermelons, cashew. Volta region, the same thing. Northern and upper regions. Then it was just two regions, Northern region and upper region. So they also had their concentration over there. And it was going to be on yam, guinea corn, maize, groundnuts, millet, and rice. Unfortunately, as I indicated, all these brilliant ideas was abandoned. Fast forward, in recent time, we've been introduced to something which, for me, I'll describe as one of the failures in this century. And I'm making reference to a policy that was introduced by the then agric minister. And it was christened as planting for food and jobs. The concept, I believe, was similar to the Operation Feed Yourself. Unfortunately, it is very clear that we got an incompetent leader in the form of that minister to lead the whole thing, and it became a fiasco. I mean, it's something that we need not talk about. But in all of this, we are not supposed to give up hope. And that is why when our team heard that a similar thing is being done somewhere. We took so much interest in and decided that this evening we are going to have a field trip and bring to your attention what is happening over there. And I'm making reference to the National Service Secretariat, their farmlands situated at Agogo. We wanted to go and have a conversation, wanted to go and see what is happening there, because whether we like it or not, agric is the way for us to go. And in this dispensation, what we need is the mechanized agric. We needed to go and be sure that what is happening there is really something that will be of an impact to the entire economy, Ghana's economy. And so we did that. We'll be bringing to you, videos and visuals of it for you to make your own judgments. But I believe strongly that after the trip, we will all know that indeed the agric sector should be the way for us to go. And if indeed, even if the agric ministry is failing to appreciate this, they will take a cue from the National Service Secretariat's farms that we have. We're going to take a commercial break. And when we come back, I will invite you to join all of us to the field of Agogo for us to appreciate what is happening there. Stay tuned.
The average human body mass should have at least 60% water for optimal performance in any physical or mental exercise. We can help you maintain it naturally. Natural mineral water. Simply natural. For bulk purchase, call 0596 273 546 or 0596 273 547. This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome to AutoCheck Vehicle Diagnostic and Licensing Center.
I hear my car can be checked here without going to Accra.
Sure. Emission, check.
Alignment, check.
Brakes, check. Visit AutoChecks at Koforidua Aquadrum Road for the roadworthiness of your vehicle, from saloon cars to heavy-duty industrial vehicles. Madam, your car is now ready for the road.
Thank you so much. Auto checks, check.
Auto Checks, your safety, our priority.
Check, auto checks.
did an extensive travel. We got to Kumewu. From Kumewu, we continued to Agogo. Agogo, we finally got into a place known as Abotantri. And amazingly, we've gotten to an environment that can be described as an endless land, vast land. It goes way down there. It goes way down there, the same way here, and also down there. And you can see the greens. This is so beautiful. In other words, we are at a farm. But the question is, who owns this farm? Why this farm? And what is it supposed to achieve? And then we get in and we realize that this farm is owned by National Service Secretariat, a state agency, a state institution. And the question is, why this? And what is the intention of all this? The funny thing, or the interesting thing, is that this is a land or a farm that is being tilted by graduates, Ghanaians, who have studied agric at their various tertiary institutions. And they've graduated, got into a stage of having national service, and the secretariat, led by its leadership, decided that they need to have this kind of plan so that there will be a hands-on practical skills given to these graduates with the intention of encouraging them to also continue the farming land and not just be graduates of agric. The other thing is also to ensure that these individuals are encouraged and introduced to modernized way of going into agriculture. And so this is where we are. And we are going to have a conversation with the project manager and his team. And so just stay tuned, give me some few minutes, and I'm going to invite to you to the studio or to the screen the project manager that we have. And when the project manager comes, we are going to have an extensive conversation surrounding all these things. Honestly speaking, I think all is not lost as far as Ghana is concerned. Just stay tuned. So greatly, I welcome you back. And listen, it also takes people of commitment to have this kind of achievements. And one of such is the project manager, the man in charge of this project that we are seeing. And I'm talking about no other than Mr. Joshua Koku Abonkra. Boss, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
First off, let me congratulate you. I'm here to get into details what exactly you are doing. But the truth of the matter is, looking around, I feel very happy. And I believe this did not come just by wishing. It took hard work. And so I want to congratulate you for where we've got into. I want to know the intention behind this. What exactly are we doing?
Let me first of all thank you and welcome you to Abotantri, as you said.
Abotantri,
Yes,
that is it.
As you said. This is a vision incubated and hatched by our current executive director, Honorable Ose Asibi.
Beautiful.
Of National Service Secretariat and the head of National Service in all.
Okay.
That at least he slept and had a vision that National Service has been doing farming, but he is thinking of something different.
Great.
And that is to have the farm consolidated at a particular point where we can have our graduates, those who have done agric in the various higher institutions, to bring them together, we give them training, practical training. Then at the end of the day, we let them know the interest that is in agric, the benefit that is in agric, that they wouldn't just do national service and go home like that. And so when we are here and what you are seeing, as you say, is beautiful. But it's not easy.
Beautiful. I can imagine.
It's not easy.
Yes.
But it takes the effort of the whole secretariat, as I said. The challenges are enormous, but we are trying our best. Because we want to augment what Ghana has. Then at least we'll be able to produce to feed Ghana as well, and to be able to train people as well, individuals in the various communities and the students as well. So as you are seeing the beauty and you are congratulating me, I think the congratulations go to the executive director.
National Service, as you rightly said, has been in farming, but you've decided I want to take it to a different stage. Is this just limited to this terrain, or you are doing same in other regions?
The vision and as we have in the current policy that we have this various regions.
Okay.
So here will be like a pilot, but of course not just a pilot, but if we are able to see the benefit in it, at least the government of the day will see the seriousness in national service, then will give us support so that in the various regions we'll be able to replicate that. And as I've said, I think they have gone extensively to some regions
Right.
to even look for lands that if the policy document is signed, then maybe in the coming years or in the coming days, we'll see such farms being replicated in the various regions. We are doing all this because the agri students we have in the various universities are coming from within such regions. So of course, it wouldn't be good to post somebody from Volta region
Exactly.
to here. So if we have same farm at Volta region, Eastern region, Bunu East and the Bunus and the northern regions, you just post them there directly so that it will be like somebody is going to do service. You are now going to look for accommodation and the rest. And that is why we are doing this. And I think as we are sending the pictorial to Ghanaians to see, I think the support will come.
We actually need the support because prior to this, in fact, when I got here earlier, I had an interaction with some of the, I don't know whether to call them students or trainees, or the service personnel. And amazingly, two of them, a male and a female, they told me that they are from KNUST. They are graduates of KNUST. They did agric. And then I went further to ask them, in their period of being in school for 4 years, did they get the opportunity of having a hands-on activities like this? That which broke my heart had to do with the answer that was given to me. That within that 4 years of stay, they had the chance of visiting a farmland once. One day. 4 years. One day. And as if that's not enough, even that one day, they did not spend the entire day there. They spent some hours, and they said it themselves, and very soon we'll be interacting with some of them. That is what they said. And so I wasn't surprised that when I got in and some of them were applying fertilizer, one of your managers had to caution one of them and tell him how to do it. So there's a graduate who has finished it for like 4 years, but application of fertilizer, it was even difficult for him. And he needs to come to a place like this to be able to even know how to apply a fertilizer. And so I think this vision is a vision that serves as a stopgap between theory and practical. And I'm so impressed about that. I'm so impressed about that. How many of the service personnel do we have who have been working or have been able to help us achieve what we have achieved?
Yeah, on the farm now we can talk about 700.
700?
Yeah, on the farm, directly on the farm.
Wow. That's interesting. 700. Yes. And what has been some of it? But even before I come to the challenges, the land looks so vast. Do you have an idea the number of acres we are looking at?
Yeah, currently National Service secured about 50,000 acres. And currently under cropping, we are looking at about 2,500 acres.
2,500?
Of cropland.
2,500 of cropland. And so we have the maize. Do we have any other?
We are here to do rice.
Okay.
We are here to do soya. Okay. We are here to do tomato.
And do you have any, challenges? What are some of the challenges that you've been encountering?
Of course, our challenge, the biggest one is machinery. Machinery is our biggest challenge.
Why? Because I thought this being under government, we should be able to something that this is very, very loud. And I believe that by now we have the tractors and all the machines that we need to help all these things to happen. Because look, the number of the greens I'm seeing, if we should have about 3 times or 4 times, we'll be doing extremely well.
Yeah, we would have been very happy. I think the executive director and the administration are trying very well.
Yeah.
In terms of this machinery I'm talking about.
That's right.
It's been rental. And to be honest with you, if we tell you a kind of investment we are making into the rental, it's not easy.
It's not easy.
And so, of course, if we have like 8 tractors that we speak, we have our own dozers, we have our own excavators, we have our own graders, then I think we would have come to see it's beautier than we are seeing.
This one.
Or we need to have roads. The roads you are seeing in between, we created ourselves. We created ourselves. That of course will need a motorable route within the farm.
That's right.
Because when it comes to harvest, you have heavy machinery coming in to do that, because the combined harvester will be here. We have those that will have to cut from the farm and the rest. So of course, if our voices are being heard, then our biggest challenge is machinery.
Aside machinery, do you have, because I've scanned around, I can't even see like a washroom, a restroom, when the personnel are tired and they want to sit somewhere and eat, relax, and other. I can't really see. Do you have anything like that?
Yeah, of course we have a room there.
Okay.
Let's say a housing.
Right.
But of course, as we've said, there's no light here. There's no electricity. So it will be very difficult. You want to bring the students here to sleep here. Because driving from Agugu to here is about 42-45 kilometers.
Exactly.
Every day we come into the farm and go back. If you see the personnel, our bus that is even bringing them, at least if we have the opportunity of having additional ones, it will be grateful.
I agree.
Because the students are many, the personnel are many.
I agree.
Of course, if we can bring like 200 a day, 300 a day, we'll be happy, because like I've said, it's a mechanized farm. But of course, apart from the machinery, like you have said, the practicality, because we need to get in touch with the farm itself. And like you said, it's a kind of a research area too.
Okay.
So of course, some of these things will be very needful, that if we get them, I think it will help us.
You know, it just reminds me of something, what we're talking about. It just reminds me of something. And that has to do with our ability to even have what we call continuity. And so I'm wondering how things are going to be after. You keep talking about your executive director. Of course, leadership determines everything. What comes into my mind is, what happens if the executive director is not there? Do we have structures for continuity? These are questions that we should be answering ourselves as Ghanaians, if indeed we want to transform this, the future of Ghana. But there's another thing too. Come in here and see the lack of equipment. But even with the little equipment, that which has been achieved. And you ask yourself, if we have a priority as a country, what prevents us from deciding that for the sake of our future, we are cutting down expenses used on getting V8 for individuals who don't even need it, in the name of their ministers, their MPs, their whatever, but do not even need it. And deciding that we are using that money to invest in something like this. I just don't get the whole concept. I just don't get the whole thing. These are questions that we need to be discussing and be looking at. Apolitical. This is Ghana, and this has nothing to do with a political party. And so maybe this is the best time for us to start having this conversation, knowing very well that this has been done and similar things can be done. Closer to Agugu, closer to their farm, there's one key thing that has to do with these Fulanis and their cattle destroying farms and all that. Are we experiencing anything of that sort?
Yeah, I think if I'll get the opportunity of going back small, I think you've asked a question in terms of the continuity.
Exactly.
I think the executive director has worked so hard, and we've heard that this time the National Service has a policy document, which of course I think is before our president.
Right.
We only pray that he was sent to it. Then I am of the view that again, maybe Ghanaians may have opportunity of giving this government continuity. If it does not happen to, of course, I know the policy document will be a guideline, which of course I know any executive director that will come will also continue. With regards to the Fulanis, I think this morning of the conversation, I was telling you that we still have cattle around.
Right.
But of course, again, in the wisdom of the executive director, he has given us a security personnel.
Okay.
That I think sometimes when we come, they have to do some kind of firing and those things. Sometimes you just see them up there But of course, they haven't disturbed our farm for now. That maybe I'll have to say. Since last year to now, we haven't had that problem. But of course, they are around. But we're also guiding ourselves against it. That in case of anything, we'll be able to chase them out.
How long is it going to take for harvesting?
Yeah, we are looking at 3 months.
So in the next 3 months, we should start harvesting, or less than 3 months, we should start harvesting because of where it is now?
It's about 1 month, 2 weeks.
Okay.
1 month, 2 weeks.
So approximately the next 2 months, harvesting should take place. Looking at the yield, what are we expecting?
We are looking at massive yield.
Massive yield.
Massive. We only pray the rain will continue the way we are seeing.
Right.
So that if the rain do not stop, then I think I can assure you that what we are seeing here, it will be massive.
Can we quantify it in terms of bags?
Yeah. For now, we have done 300. So let me just give you an average of, and multiplying 300 acres by maybe 5 tons or 6 tons, because averagely 1 acre is supposed to give you between 5 to 10 tons.
Okay.
So a rough estimation, we'll be looking at least that's if you multiply, let's say 300 by even 5.
We are looking at 1,500.
Yeah.
1,500 bags of rice.
Of maize.
Of maize. That's really amazing.
Tons.
That's really, really amazing. 1,500 tons.
Yeah.
That's amazing. 1,500 tons from one agency, National Service Secretariat. Not the whole ministry, like Ministry of Agri. Just one agency. 1,500.
Yeah, there's one thing I think I should add.
Yes.
I think we've had MasterCard and Happy Project partnering us.
Yeah.
That is in training the students as well.
Okay.
Sometimes some of the inputs, I think they give support. We'll say thank you to them.
Great.
Had
That's
it not
nice.
been them, it wouldn't have been easy.
Happy to hear that.
Yeah. They've had a series of workshop. Training for the past 2 months.
Okay.
Students who are interested in cultivation of maize have had their training. Rice have had, tomato have had. I think soya is the next one. Because we want to do the soya in the minor season. Okay. Because a lot of rains wouldn't augur well for us in terms of the cultivation of soya, which of course we are looking at that one to give us a number of tons also again. Like I've said, the vision of our executive director is at least to produce and to augment. At least we are looking at the suffering of the poultry farmers in terms of the soya.
That's right.
We are looking at tomato, that our women wouldn't rush to Burkina again for tomato. And this is what the vision here has had. And so to be honest with you, somebody like a former DC, you can see the sound scotch here, but at least for the sake of Ghana, we are here.
In fact, that was one thing I was going to say. That again, this shows that if you have the right leaders, they will be able to motivate the people, the right people. Because he's also a former MCE, Municipal Chief Executive, if you don't know what the MCE stands for. And he could have sat somewhere and said, I'm an honorable member. I'm not going to be part of this. Be in the sun and all that. We talked again about the rains. And we are saying that if the rains, we pray to God the rains. Do we have any irrigation system that is helping in case the rain doesn't?
To be honest with you, I think a takeoff of the project was with irrigation.
Okay.
And as we speak, I think we've gone about 90-95% of the irrigation system.
Okay.
But we are looking at drip.
Right.
And drip irrigation is a complex system to manage. Of course, we've done the barring of the pipes, that for now, our challenge is electricity. The pump is available. I think with the drip lines we have, last year we used we have about 10 boreholes within the farm.
Okay.
At least we tried, we gave us a trial, and we've seen that with irrigation, because ours here is not supposed to be a normal farming. It's a mechanized farm. We want to go beyond the peasant farming, that at least within the season, we could have 2 seasons in the year.
Right.
But as we speak, because of the electricity challenge, for now, we are depending on the rain. But like I've said, if we should get electricity even today, and I think the pump is ready that maybe we can start pumping water.
Is it that difficult to bring electricity all the way here? What is the challenge? The neighboring towns or villages, they don't have electricity.
I think the neighboring village that we have is about at least 15 kilometers.
Oh, okay, that's a bit far.
That we can have, yeah. Then again, we need to carry the electricity from our farm like 8 kilometers into that farm. That's
also another option. Yes. What about solar? Couldn't we have also capitalized on solar?
Of course, solar would have been good as we speak.
Yeah.
But again, as we said, the designers, you see, when you are doing irrigation, depend on how the contractor will design his project.
Sure.
This is designed in such a way that we need to carry the water from our farm. So if the initial this thing was that
solar, then we could have fallen on that. So I think honestly, this shouldn't be difficult for us as a country to do. It shouldn't be difficult at all. If we can it's all about setting our priorities. And if we believe that this is one of our priorities, and by all extension, I believe personally that this should be one of our priorities. Can you imagine having this in almost all the regions? It is even going to take care of this rural-urban migration that we are having, the headache that we are having. Can you imagine that we having this farm here, we have a hostel facilities, and young ones, the youth, have decided that, look, instead of roaming in Accra, the capitals, Kumasi and all that, sleeping on the streets, we have a place here we can sleep. And when we wake up in the morning, we can work. I think we would have been able to also solve so much problem affecting us as a country. But there's also one thing I want to I'm interested in. You see, you have all this land. The focus is the national service personnel. I'm not a national service personnel. I'm not even a student. I am not someone who have had a formal education, but I'm interested in farming. I can see this vast land going all the way there. There are some that you have even prepared. I want to go into farming. I may not necessarily have the basic knowledge. Or even if I do, I don't have the capital to prepare a land like this. Can I work to national service? Can I come to your outfit? If I can, what will be the process and what help can you give me?
Yeah, I think even today, and as we speak, even for now, if you want to be part of us, the policy document is there. PPP is there.
Right.
Private partner, if you want to partner us, the land is there, as I've said.
Right.
Again, if you come, it will depend on what you want. Maybe we should prepare the land for you, then give you input, then you harvest, you share.
That's right.
That one is there. Of course, it will depend on how you want to come in.
Okay.
But of course, the doors are open.
Okay.
Like I've said, the policy is there, giving away for private partnership.
So in this case, do I go to your head office in Accra, or if I'm closer to this place, I can come here? How do I access? National Service, do you have offices across the country?
Yes, please.
So can I go to any of the offices closer to me, or I surely have to travel all the way to Accra, come to the head office? What?
You could just pass through any of the offices.
Okay.
Municipal Director of National Service.
Yeah.
Agogo is here.
Right.
Razak, then Robonso.
Right.
Is also here. They are all directors.
Okay.
Of course, if you get in touch with any one of us, maybe you send in if it's application through any one of them. I will receive it, pass it through operations.
Okay.
That's the Deputy Executive
Director, yes.
At least. We've had people coming here.
Okay.
Some Brazilians came here. In fact, they love the way we're doing our farming. They wanted to partner with us. They have given us a year to come back. At least they wanted even an area to have a demonstration farm. So that, of course, so we have people coming in.
That's right.
And like I've said, it isn't any rigid way of
process.
Coming,
yeah. If you go to some other countries, I know of the US and some few other countries, when you are done with school, it is mandatory to join the military. and do national service with the military. I think the intention, among other things, may be to inculcate into those graduates the sense of patriotism and for them to die for their country. That is their focus. We've always been targeting ourselves as a country known to be an agricultural country. And yet we are doing very poor when it comes to agri. From where you sit and the experiences you have, would you advise that we should have a national policy, just like other countries have their national policies, that says that mandatorily, if you are done with school and you are going to have your national service, you should do it in a field like this, agric?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. And like I've said, it will depend on which policy do we have first. If we have the policy that, as I've said, this kind of farming is going to be replicated in the various regions, of course, you wouldn't send personnel to farms to do under labor. Exactly. At least maybe you wouldn't need people there. You have brought them, like you said, you post some personnel to some offices, and as we speak, they are sleeping. Of course, it would have been a good idea. The question again is, how many institutions do we have that even offer agriculture? You ask, is it all of them that are here?
Right.
So, of course, even if we can start that, all the students that have done agriculture in the various institutions are supposed to be pushed to the front. Let's start from there.
Okay, so that sounds that is very laudable. Yeah. So all those who have done agric should be pushed to this field. Yeah. I think that would be that's acceptable. Other than putting some agric, graduates to go into, let's say, what, Ministry of something or tourism. Go to Ministry of Tourism. What are you going to do there? No wonder they'll go and they'll be sleeping there. But we also made mention of the rice, soya, tomatoes, and then the maize. Do we have any plan for livestock?
Yeah, these personnel that have even been posted, we have some who have done animal husbandry, and animal science. They have been given training, and like I've said, the land is so vast. Our interest is that bringing them here, they will have more interest into the agric.
Right.
The moment any one of them opts that this is what they want to do, the MasterCard Foundation and the Happy Project are ever ready to sponsor them.
Wow.
They are ever ready to sponsor them. And it's part of the policy this thing attached to the farm. Yeah.
That's interesting. So I think this is really an avenue for serious investments to take place. I mean, you can even be an institution, private agency, private institution, even an individual, and decide that, look, I want to partner national service. What I want is maybe 2 acres, 3 acres, 1 acre, whatever, and I want to go into this.
I think an organization came here last 2 weeks looking for 1,000 acres.
Wow.
To do maize and soya to feed poultry. Yeah, they want to even partner with us to do poultry here, but they want to have their farm here.
The farm here.
So that they will just use the feed to
feed them. Produce to feed them.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So there's an avenue. I mean, we are talking about unemployment, we're talking about job creation. I mean, this is a fantastic way to create jobs. And as I said earlier, I think if we are able to focus even on this, ensure that we have expanded it to its full capacity, and then being able to have same in other regions. The issue of unemployment, we should be able to resolve it in less than a month. That shouldn't be difficult to do. We can do it because there are a lot of wastages that if we seal those loopholes and we gather those monies and invest it in things like this, I'm sure that overnight we will be able to get all these things done. That's amazing.
Let me be quick to add that in the various institutions, I think we need to inculcate certain things into our minds. I've always been saying that office work, excuse me to say, doesn't give money.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Right. If you look at where our money is coming from, I told this person when we're giving them orientation, all our money is coming from the bush.
That's
If it
interesting.
is if it is minerals, it's coming from the bush. If it is agric, it's coming from the
That's
bush.
right.
So they should let us make ourselves dirty and get money into our pocket. But is that everybody want to finish school, sit in office with tie, at least with air condition, like I've said. At least as a former DC, I would have
You'd have loved to be in the air condition
yes,
by now.
because I've enjoyed it.
You've
And now
enjoyed it, yeah.
coming back to the
Yeah,
sun. So
yeah.
let us try to put something in our minds that at least let's go down there. Let's go down there.
Yeah.
That's why, because, and again, like you said, I met an old lady. Let me just be quick to add.
Right.
The grandson did agric in Lagos.
Okay.
He has said, I'm a former DC. In Agogo here, he wants that if I could help for him to get work in Accra, because he has stayed in Accra throughout.
Okay.
I just to heard that old lady. I would have wished you advise your grandson to come back to Agogo.
That's right.
To be part of farming.
Yeah.
Have a portion of land, do rice, and see, between 2-3 years, he will be rich. And if you still want to go to Accra, you go to Accra.
Yeah. It's just the mindset and the orientation that we have. You said it, and I want to reiterate that on that. That's what Honorable said earlier on. He said, the bush will make you dirty, but it will put money in your pockets. I like that sentence. I really like that. And I think that is really the truth. The bush will make you dirty, but it will also put some money in your pocket. Accra is extremely choked. And it's just because we are not even expanding. We are not showing the beauty on the other side, outside Accra. Look at this. This can be done so easily. There's a lot of partnership available at National Service, particularly in the area of agric here. So just make up your mind, get in touch, and then we'll assist you. We will assist you, trust me. If you get to National Service and there's bureaucracy and frustration, get in touch with me. You just get in touch with me. We will assist. I am really in love with what is happening here, and I believe it's something that needs to continue.
On behalf of the executive director, then the entire secretariat,
Right.
I think I want to say a big thank you to you.
It's a pleasure.
All the way from Accra, that you have come to visited us and to send our voices out.
That's right.
So that everybody will know what we are doing for Ghana. So I want to say a big thank you. Then we wish you a safe drive again to Accra.
Thank you.
And like you have said, you try to air it out for us.
Exactly.
That our challenges at least will be heard.
Sure.
And so that the support will come.
Sure.
Because we are willing to do more.
Yeah.
If I had opportunity, we will take it down there. We've done about 400 acres down there, waiting to do rice. Wow. In addition to this, so this year we are looking at about 1,000 acres of rice farm.
Interesting.
Which of course, like we've said, 2 tractors.
Yeah.
But it will not be easy for us.
I can imagine.
So we really need the support, especially the machinery. In fact, we are really putting a lot into the renting of machines, and of course, it's not easy for us. So I want to say thank you. God bless.
Thank you so much. I'm honored, honestly. Thank you so much, and my team too. We are honored. As we keep saying, it is for Ghana. It is not for any partisan interest. And so, irrespective of the political party, irrespective of who you are as an individual, as long as you are doing something for the betterment of Ghana, it is our collective interest to amplify it and make it known. And so I also want to commend your executive director, your leadership, and particularly yourself and your team here, because it is really not easy. I mean, I have spent the entire morning till now here with my team, and I can imagine what you go through on a daily basis. So it hasn't been easy. And for someone like you who has risen to the stage of becoming a DCE and deciding that despite all those clouds, you are taking off to come and pursue a passion in the interest of Ghana, I think you also need to be commended. And I pray that we'll be getting similar, like-minded individuals like you, like your leadership, that will help us, change the trajectory of Ghana. That is very important, and that's what we need. What we are going to do again is to have a brief conversation with some of the students or the graduates who are now doing their practical services here, so that we can also listen to them, and for you to also know that the youth are, at least there are some youth who are also interested. As long as the state is able to create the avenue for them, they will have the passion, and they have the passion to join. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Graduates, yeah? Future farmers, is that it?
Sure. Yeah.
Billionaires and millionaires. Yeah, that's the word. You are the ones going to feed not just Ghana, not just Africa, but the whole of the world. Is that it? Very well. So, as my name is Emmanuel Wilson, who do I talk to? What's your name, my dear?
My name is Alido Aisha.
Aisha, can I change this here? Aisha, are you a national service personnel, obviously? From which institution?
Ohau Agri College.
Where?
Ohau Agri.
Ohau Agri. Where is it located?
In the Volta region.
Okay, so how long was your training there?
3 years.
3 years.
Yes.
So you are doing your service here. What has been your experience so far?
A whole lot.
Tell me just one or two. That probably your school didn't teach you.
So far, we've been learning a whole lot. Various trainings, a lot.
A lot?
Yes.
Okay, so various trainings and a lot. Should I assume that there were some practical things you've learned here which you never learned in the
Yes,
classroom?
please.
And so this has been very beneficial to you. What is your plan from here? The national service is ending when?
This year.
This year. So after this year, what do you intend doing?
Okay, through the training, we were being told that they are going to give us land free of charge, and also they will provide us with the basic inputs so that we can start our own farm.
Great.
Yes.
Great. That's great. So do you intend taking advantage of that?
Yes.
Oh, which means what? After here, you intend staying and then building a national or multinational farmhouse here. Great. I will apply to be an employee. Right? So that's what Aisha, right? Okay, so don't worry, don't hide your face. I won't come to you. Don't hide it. Just relax. I won't come to you. Don't hide your face. Who want to have a conversation with me? You do. Okay, great. I spoke to you earlier. And the interesting thing is you told me you were already in farming before coming here. Tell me about your rice farming. When did it start?
Oh, I started from infancy. Like I was born into a family who do rice as a food that we like. So after secondary school, I decided to at least do my own.
Okay.
So I started about 10 years ago, and I've been doing small.
Yeah.
Like 1.5 acre, 2 acres.
Yeah.
Now I have a little 2 3 acres land that I do every year.
Interesting.
So because of school and then the service that we are doing over here, I have not been able to at least do all the farm, but I'm right now I'm doing half of my land.
That's nice.
So sometimes I seek permission and then I go back.
You go back and do. Where is it located?
In Kariachuma, Mwabija district.
Okay, that's fine. So what brought you here? If you're already in the farming, what brought you here? And you coming here, what have you benefited?
Okay, for me, I was posted here last year.
Okay.
As a national service personnel, but after the service, they have retained us as a voluntary personnel to at least assist the up and coming, the newcomers, so that we will share the experience we had here last year to them, and we've been helping them.
Fantastic. So if I get you right, you were into farming.
Yes.
And yet you went to school. Yes. Which school was that?
Kwadaso Agri College.
Okay. So from school, you did your service as legally mandated. That was last year. And then this year, you've been retained as a voluntary personnel, so to come and help the up-and-coming ones. What advice do you have for the youth who want to go into agric, but they are struggling to make a decision?
Agric is a very...
farming.
Farming. Let me use farming. And let me use the little experience I have had. When it comes to rice, last year, the little that I was able to do,
yes,
at least I got about 5,000 that I have spent. And I have maybe 5 bags over there that I'll later go and then sell that one too. So I don't think any other personnel like me will have that to at least showcase. But I have had the opportunity, and this time too, I am trying to do something small. It is very helpful. So agriculture and the farming is so good. Even last year, I bought 1 pig.
Wow, that's
and
interesting.
That pig also gave birth. And right now, my helper who is looking after the animal called me that he has sold the piglet, and I'm going to cash out over 5,000.
Wow.
So there's nothing like you can do a galamsey, a rare galamsey is doing agric.
That's great.
So I am encouraging the youth that they should engage themselves in it. And if you have the passion, please do. But my problem is the finance and the machinery. That has been the problem. Because I have so many people who will have engaged, but the what it will take for them to engage in the farming. So if we can help, if the government can at least assess the up and coming in, at least small amount that we can start with, it will boost us so much. So my humble plea to the government that they should look down to agriculture and the younger ones who are interested in doing it, so that they will support us in various ways they could, so that it will help us. Thank you.
Fantastic. This is great. I was actually going to ask you of your view regarding the government support, but you've captured it very well. Thank you so much. At least what you have said, which I want everyone to listen to, is that real galamsey is not in our mining of minerals, but it is in agriculture. We are still having an interaction with our personnel, and I'm here again with one of my friends. I actually engaged him earlier on, and I think I still want to have his voice captured. What did you say your name is?
Abraham Aduse.
Abraham, from which institution?
Kenya ST.
You graduated last year, right?
Yes.
Which course did you pursue?
BSc Agriculture, but I specialize in horticulture.
Horticulture.
Yeah.
Is it related to what is happening here?
Yeah.
Okay, so you come in here. What have you learned? What has been the additional value?
Actually, on campus, we are most into theory.
Great.
We had a little chance on the practical aspect. We had a chance to go to the farm once. That was somewhere 30 years. Yeah. We went to apply fertilizer, but it took about some few hours. But fortunately for me, I've had a chance to come here. I've gone to see the large scale of fertilizer application. Though I had some few experience in the house, but better still, it's much fun here and much more experience in here.
Beautiful. Is there anything you want to say in line with students who have not had the opportunity of engaging in this? Do you want to encourage, is this something that you want to encourage national service to have in the various regions, so that all those who have got agric background will also have the practical field and not necessarily waiting till after school to have national service in it, but they will have the opportunity of engaging practically throughout the 4 years or 3 years of their stay in school?
Yeah, it's really a nice program for the students on campus to get that chance or that opportunity to come to the field, not only the fields on campus, like the other fields outside campus. Yeah, it can be something even with internship.
Right.
Students can use that opportunity to come and then experience some stuff here, because it's really helpful.
Great. I think that is it. We are all sweating. So let me leave them for them to go so I can also go. Guys, thank you so much. Welcome back to the studios of TV XYZ. You are still with your program, your transformative program, Politics and Beyond. And I'm still your host, Emmanuel Wilson Jr. I believe you enjoyed the trip that we did and you have learned something from it. The focus, as I indicated, is to bring to your attention that indeed all is not that lost. And I believe strongly that if we continue on this path, we'll be able to change the story of Ghana. I am encouraging, particularly the Ministry of Agri, to take a cue from this. And I will also want to continue encouraging the leadership of the National Service Secretariat for, this platform that they have given, and to let them encourage individual youth to take this path, because that is the only path that will change the story of Ghana. All too soon, this is where time will allow us to get to. This program is going to be repeated this coming Wednesday at 11 a.m. on TV XYZ. And I want to entreat you to watch again. I want to entreat you to encourage all your colleagues, your friends to also tune in and watch, because together we need to transform the future of this country. Till we meet again next week, all I can say is good night for now.